The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is time for Cowboys Storyline. It's Friday, December the 1st. Cowboys are 9-3 after that easy win over Seattle. Never a doubt. I'm kidding. 41-35. Nobody has fingernails left. It was awesome. It was an awesome game all the way around in a lot of different ways, a lot of aspects. It was a fun one, and it really was. This. You know, I think this, and I've said it, I wrote it, I think this is playoff football. This is the type of games you see in the playoffs, and the Cowboys figured out a way to win. I'm not saying Seattle's, going to even make the playoffs. I mean, who knows? They're at 6-6, but I think that it was the type of game that really tests you in every aspect. And you have to pass the challenge. You have to figure out a way to get there, even when it doesn't look like it's going to happen. There was plenty of times in that game I didn't know if the Cowboys were going to win it. But, right now, the way Dak is playing, this is the best we've ever seen of Dak. And Dak is playing right up there with anybody in the NFL. And they have complete trust in him, even to the point of, hey, let's let him throw here on 3rd and 4 instead of running out 40 seconds to go. Let's see if he can throw another touchdown, because that's just the confidence they have in him. I hated the call then. I hated it now. But it didn't hurt them at the end of the game, and they ended up winning. But I think it just shows the confidence that this team has in their quarterback right now. So, all right. 888-855-2297. I could sit and talk all day long about all these things, and I'm sure I'll get the chance to do that. That is the number to call. The number to text is 817-290-3298. Let's go to the phone lines now. Let's get right to it. We got Brian in Kansas City. Brian, how's it going?
Oh, man, I can't believe I got in first, Nick. I was going to call Conspiracy Theory Steve and see why I couldn't get in first.
Nope. You're leading us off. What are you going to do? Are you going to bunt? You going to hit a base hit? You going to try to hit a lead-off homer? What are we doing here? Let's go. Let's get it rolling.
No, I'm swinging for the fences,
Let's go. Let's do it.
Hey, so, I got a couple of things. So, one, I listened to you and Nate argue about the moral victory thing, many times you guys have talked about that. And this kind of presented to me like a little bit of a moral loss for the defense.
What?
Seattle, this is the game of the year for the Seattle offense. They've never had anything. I look back at their box scores. They've never had anything like this year. They've had a couple of games where they scored 37, but there was a defensive touchdown or something in there. And I was really disappointed that they hung up these kind of numbers against our defense that we thought was top notch. That's just my takeaway. The offense bailed us out, and holy cow, is Dak and CD on a tear. I mean, good Lord.
What about the defense? Did the defense not bail them out?
Well, so the last play was fun to watch, but he wasn't blocked.
Right, but that right there goes to show that, that's something I was talking with Derek Eagleton about upstairs. The play call is a great play call for most teams and most players, but not Micah Parsons. He just blew that up. He's too fast, too explosive, even on the last play of the game. You can get that on most teams. You couldn't get it on him and Tank and D-Law. I thought it was great. I hear what you're saying. That's not – I don't know if that should be our first call to talk exactly about that, because the defense struggled in a game at Seattle. That's a desperate team. They have to win. They're trying to get into the playoffs. But when it was time to shut them down, 3 stops to get off the field. So, no, not a great performance, but when they had to have it, Deron Bland makes a play. Finally, Micah Parsons makes a play finally, and they get off the field and they win the game. So I'm not as critical about that. I just think this is it's playoff football, and that's the atmosphere that it was. I thought the defense they struggled, but they figured out a way at the end to finally get a stop.
Yeah, and the thing I was going to bring up the Bland thing too, because boy, you've been saying, hey, he's not a shutdown corner. He's had a great run with the returns, but he's not a shutdown. He struggled a little bit last night. To see him come back and get that pick, that was really something.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
So a couple other things. I think it's time to admit watching CD this year has just been amazing. I think it's time we say they did I've been upset when the Cowboys make really bad decisions. I think the Cooper decision has turned out to be the right decision. We can't afford to have two number one. You can't pay $30 million a year to two number one wide receivers. And CD is a top tier receiver. I don't do the rankings thing with who's number one versus number two, but he's up there, and we wouldn't be able to afford both. So The Cowboys had some good vision there, and they said CD's our guy, and we're going to have to pay him, so we can't keep the other one.
Yeah.
Tell me, and I got two more things.
No, so, one more thing, Brian. Let's get it rolling. We have a lot of people.
Yeah.
One more.
What did you think about them not taking the field goal there?
I didn't like it. I thought they got a gift interception. They made the play, but I didn't like that not taking the field goal. I didn't like all of Mike McCarthy's decisions there. But he's managing the game. He understands what's going on. He knows his defense hasn't gotten a stop, and he has complete confidence in his offense. I would have kicked the field goal. I'm kicking the field goal right there. If you're talking about after the interception and you're down 28-27, I kick a field goal. It's been 48 yards. It's not a given, but I think that's what I would have done, because I just got an interception and I haven't stopped them. Finally got a pick. Take the lead. How about that? Let's take the lead. But or you could just throw it out to CeeDee Lamb, who's catching everything, and he's going to get a first down, and he dropped it. They threw it to the hottest player in the NFL right now at wide receiver, and he dropped it. So it's not like it was a bad call. It just didn't work out. All right, let's keep rolling here. Let's go. Sorry to cut you off, Brian. Just a lot of different callers here. We're going to go to Bruce in Houston. Bruce, what's up?
Hey, Brian, Nick.
It's okay. How you doing?
Great. Yeah, you've been called worse, right?
Doing
today. Great. Great game. I think us fans have gotten spoiled to, smoking them at home. And we still put our 40 up, but I want to say, whoo, because several times during the game we thought, we're going to lose this game. And maybe we didn't deserve to win, but we did. And we did deserve it, and some part of it. Because like you said earlier, when they needed to make a play, they did. I don't know if you saw the telecast, but, man, they put a stat on Bland. And I think maybe all week you've been hearing the, Defensive Player of the Year hype, because his first half stats were atrocious. But to his defense, man, he got an interception and shut down his man in the second half. So great adjustments there. But McCarthy, oh, my God, the first mistake he made, it didn't cost us anything because they missed that field goal, as you remember. But second 19 versus third and 7, oh, my lands, what a bonehead decision. I don't understand why he did that. And I agree with you. I hated the call on the last one, 3rd and 3. Do an RPO with Dak. He'd been running good.
Yeah.
Keep the clock. That's 40 seconds they could have. If they lost that game, he'd have been fried for it. And,
Yep.
Like you said, these next 4 games now, I still think we're going to be the 5th seed. But, hey, there's a chance. But who knows? But man, and that's probably good that we won that game like that, because they know they got, at least as a playoff team, because that was the saying. You can beat the sisters, but you can't beat these guys.
Yeah.
So we proved it a little bit, but now we got to take it one step forward. Good show.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Thank
Nick.
you. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that. Yeah, those calls were he managed the game. He managed it, his way, and that's what he does. He always kind of changes it up a little bit based off of field, based off of what's going on. I would have gone for 2 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, down 8. I probably would have just gone for 2 there. But I understand why you don't. I really do, and it's a sweet spot there, late in the third, middle of the third, because in a game like that where there's a lot of points, if you don't score there, Seattle goes and scores the touchdown, which they did. Now you're down by 9. if you kick an extra point to go down one, you're going to stay within one score regardless of what happens, which is what happened. So then when you're down 35-27, and so they get field goals and all that. And so I was fine with that. That was a tough one, tough decision. But yeah, some of the others, and that 3rd and 7 versus 2nd and 19, there was a lot of confusion there because it said it was 3rd and 10. Not 3rd and 7. It said 3rd and 10 on the scoreboard and also where the guy was lining up, and then he switched it, I think, to 3rd and 7 at the last second. So I don't know if I still would have gone 2nd and 19 or 2nd and 20, whatever it was. But I, that was odd too because they had just converted a 3rd and 9 for a touchdown. So I would be pushing them back. He had a couple of decisions I disagreed with, but you know what? It did not hurt him in this case. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob.
Oh man.
You all right?
Not much voice left. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, that game proves one thing. Dak Prescott is the best player on this team. It isn't Micah Parsons. It isn't Deron Bland or whoever. He bailed out everyone. He bailed out the coaches, the defense. I mean, I totally agree with you. I would have took 2nd and 19. An incomplete pass or a sack, that was dumb. I agree. 3rd and 4, you put the ball in Dak Prescott's hands. You let him roll out, nobody open. Maybe he runs for it, he falls down, the clock runs.
Yeah.
But in the end, we kind of, I don't know if people say we needed this, and maybe we did. This looked like a playoff game. Dak Prescott was getting beat up, and they kept slamming him on his throwing shoulder. He was breaking tackles. He was running guys over. I mean, so you just saw he said, "No, we're not losing this game."
Right.
And so maybe we needed a game like this instead of blowing everybody out about 30. And the guy that really stepped up and he's got an attitude is that Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson.
You got to love this kid. He's athletic and he's willing to get his head, put his head down. And I think this team needs that. And I think Dak fed off of that, was talking trash. Listen, it was a great game because we won. Did they overlook them for Philly? I don't know how. And how do you overlook a team? Period, because they're punching you in the mouth. You got to do something. So listen, the defense. Could Deron Bland ever play that bad again? Probably not. I don't know what happened. Did they not watch film? I really don't know what happened with the secondary. The refs, their arm is as sore as Dak from throwing so many flags.
Yeah,
but
it was terrible.
But as a fan, at the end of the day, all that matters is the win. We could debate. Well, they only won by. Who cares? I live in Vegas where everybody bets. I don't gamble on football. The spread was high, and everybody was betting on Dallas, so the casinos made a lot of money. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't care because you had to win because you're hoping Philly loses to San Fran, and there's a good chance.
Yeah.
So, listen, they took care of business, but Dak Prescott is definitely in the MVP voting. He's playing the best quarterback. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback, but he's playing the best in the league right now. And he is definitely the best player on this team.
I can't disagree with you at all. Yeah, Rob, I can't. He is. He's just playing out of his mind right now, and the confidence that he has, the throws that he's making. I mean, CD, he had one go through his hands right in the end zone, but that was a bullet of a throw. Yeah. I mean, he's throwing he's throwing it.
Yeah, that throw he threw to Ferguson. I don't know if he would ever make that throw because he was trusting Ferguson to cut in, and he threw it, and luckily for him and Ferguson were on the right page. But you're right, that throw into the end zone, even though it was tight, it did went through CeeDee's hands. I'm not saying, but you're right. That like I said, what I called a couple of days ago, the ball's coming off his hand differently. I don't know if he changed a little bit of mechanics, or maybe it's just confidence. Mm-hmm. When he lets that ball go, it's not a wobbly, duck. That thing is moving.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely he's just
Yeah.
we just have never seen it before. We've never seen him playing like this and just carrying the team like he did. It was awesome. All right, Rob, thanks for the call. Of course, I agree with you on Jake Ferguson too. I thought Jake brought an attitude, and it was smart too. I mean, like they were baiting him. I mean, Jamal Adams was, he was in everyone's face. You know what I mean? I mean, complete eye roll on Jamal Adams. Just last night. Good physical player, but I mean, just always talking crap and then every single snap and just jumping in at the end of plays and stuff like that. Ferguson takes a huge hit to the head, which in college would have not, the guy would have been ejected probably. But, and he's talking crap and Ferguson gets up and just basically just walks over him like, you're short. I'm not. I'm going to walk over you and I'm going to say first down. And they were baiting him in, and he didn't take it. He just kind of smiled and said, "It was first down." What else can you say? If it was really a big hit, I would have dropped it. That kind of stuff. I just love the way he played, kept playing, and they found something in Jake Ferguson, and they really have. And so that's a good thing to do because every quarterback needs a guy like that. They need a tight end. They need somebody sure-handed and he can dump it off, and then also is going to go make a play, going to go jump over someone and be athletic. So. I really, really love what they're getting out of Jake Ferguson right now. Only a dumbass would drop him on his fantasy team. Cool. All right, let's go to Mark in Florida. Mark, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I know you're busy, so I'll be quick.
Hey, it's your floor. Let's go.
All right. On the in the grass play with Dak Prescott from the TV broadcast, I don't know if it's the umpire or the referee that stands behind, but that view, number 43, he's got his left hand up to his mouth, obviously with the whistle, and his right hand goes straight up. I'm a novice, but that there means to me the whistle's got to be blown and the play is dead when he puts his right arm up. He didn't call it. Thank God he didn't blow his whistle, and it turned out to be a big play, a big completion to the sideline.
Yeah.
Okay? But quite obvious he had his hand, right arm, straight up in the air. Next, it's going to be easy in this game to give the game ball to anyone on the offense. Dak, Ferguson, CD. My game ball goes to DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yep.
And here's what I'm going to say. When he got drafted, he was our next great hope after DeMarcus Ware. Since Dan Quinn came here, he has given up those fancy stats of sacks, and he has become probably the best run defender on this team. Okay, everybody's giving Parsons the kudos. Okay, on that last play, Parsons don't get the kudos to me. Okay, that was a cover zero. Okay, and everybody in the building is supposed to know Gino's got to get that ball out quick. If DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't smell out that quick screen, he's going to run forever. DeMarcus Lawrence pulled up when that back came across and was right in his face, and that's who he was throwing to, was that running back. And the play blew up, because if he gets that ball over Parsons' head, or if that guy is open, that guy's running. So to me, DeMarcus Lawrence probably made the two biggest plays in that game. So he gets my game ball.
I love it.
Okay?
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. That is the game ball. DeMarcus Lawrence, he was walking with his family. He had that strut after the game, and I was talking to him, and his kids are there and his family, and I said to him, do they know you made the play of the game? And I was talking about the fourth down tackle. That was the play of the game. You're right. The last one was big, huge, and he was a big part of it. I'm not going to say that Micah Parsons didn't have any effect either, because I mean he definitely it was
did.
like Sonic the Hedgehog just flying up there like that. And on the last play of the game, unbelievable. Both of them get credit for that one. But you're right. I mean, you're right. Tank is selfless at this point in his career. He doesn't get all the stats. And I love the fact that he made the Pro Bowl last year and didn't have a lot of stats. Teams know, players know, coaches know. They know DeMarcus Lawrence is a difference maker, and you know it. You know it, Mark. That's really you're right on. You're spot on that.
Okay, Nick, go 49ers. Never thought I'd say
that.
Okay, go
sure.
49ers. But for one day, about 3.5, 4 hours, I'm going to be a big 49ers fan. Then I'll go back to hating them.
Fair. That's fine. All right. Good call, Mark. Really, really good. And he's right. Tank Lawrence. I mean, I couldn't believe they didn't just keep Geno under center. I don't know if the Cowboys have stopped a quarterback this year on the tush push. I know they don't stop Philly, but I mean, I don't know if they stop anyone. And I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have run the ball off tackle like that and just and that was a huge play in the game. I don't know if that was the biggest one, but I did make my 5 plays because the one that did was the three plays earlier, 1st and 10 over the middle. Tyler Lockett had Deron Bland beat. That ball just comes flying right at him, right at his face. He dropped it. If it's right on the money, not only is it a catch, it could be a touchdown. But he dropped it, and they ended up getting 9 on that. The next 2 plays, 2nd and 3rd, and then on 4th and 1, they didn't make it. I thought that was huge turnaround there. All right, let's go to Greg in Sacramento. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Greg.
Hey, so it was a great game yesterday. It was funny the previous caller, you mentioned D-Law, and it was funny because I was watching the game with my brother, and it was like the 4th quarter, and I hadn't really noticed like D-Law. He didn't really stand out to me yet, and I was like, man, where's D-Law been? And then the next like 3 plays,
Boom.
he just made 3 boom, boom, like bang, bang plays. Like, oh, there he is.
There he is. There's the tape. Yeah.
Exactly. And then there was one play though where I saw it. It was with Dak and Tony Pollard, and once I saw that play, I wasn't worried about the rest of the game. I was like, oh yeah, we're winning this game.
Yeah.
And it was the play where Tony Pollard picks up the blitz, right? He takes the guy out, and then he gets back up, and Dak just kind of shovel passes the ball to him. And I was like, oh my god, like we're gonna win this game today. Like after seeing that, like, the grit it took from Tony Pollard to take on that blitz, and then the wherewithal to like stand back up and turn around and look for the ball still. I was like, wow, yeah, we've got this game today. So, and the last thing I want to say is just I hope now I can stop hearing like, oh, the Cowboys record isn't real. The Cowboys haven't beat anybody real. Like I've been so tired of hearing that, Nick. Like I'm over here in Sacramento. All my brothers are 49er fans, and all I hear is, oh yeah, the Cowboys haven't beat anybody. Like, come on, dude. The people that we have been beating, we've been blowing these teams out. These bad teams. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what a good team does.
Yeah.
They blow out the bad teams, and they win the games like Seattle today that are tough, that are gritty, but we pull those wins out, right? So I just hope we can finally stop hearing all this, BS about the Cowboys having beat nobody and all this. And then that's it. Great show, man. I love the show.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks for taking the call.
Appreciate that. Couple things. Yeah, you're right on that pass to Pollard. That was a great play. That the only thing missing from that play from Dak to Pollard was like, just like a seesaw in the background and a jungle gym and all that. It was a playground. That's what it was. It was playground football. It was, I'm just going to run here and I'm going to pitch it. I thought it was very Romo-like, the way he was just kind of playing, playing like a basketball point guard. And, it was awesome. That's just Dak in his bag. And also Pollard, I mean, to just be alert. And because he did not pick up the blitz on a play down by the goal line and ended up having to kick a field goal, just completely whiffed. I think Dak got sacked. So it's not easy for him. I mean, Tony Pollard is a quick scat back, and I mean those guys aren't typically the best blockers, but he's not afraid. He sticks his nose in there, and he does a pretty good job based off of his size and what they're asking him to do. So, but that was a really good play. And then, it was just one of those games where it was a fun game all the way around. I can't say enough about how enjoyable that one was, just to watch them play that game and to kind of rally back like that. So a lot of fun on that one. All right, let's go to our next caller here. Pete, is it Pete in Connecticut? I lost my screen for a second. Is that right?
Yep.
Pete, what's up?
Nick, how's it going, man? What a game. Holy smokes.
Yeah, big time.
It was my son's first game. He actually watched the full game, and
nice.
Now he's a huge Dak Prescott fan.
Cool.
I just had 2 quick questions. Who do you think's going to win between the 49ers and Eagles this weekend? And also, I believe our next game's against Buffalo, right?
After Philly.
After Philly. Okay, so I was going to ask, how do you think Dallas is going to prepare for the cold weather up in Buffalo? And I didn't mean to jump over the Eagles game, but those were my 2 questions.
Yeah. I mean, Okay, I appreciate the call. I mean, Philly and 49ers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're both playing really well at this point. I mean, I think whatever the Niners were going through, it seemed like they've kind of figured it out. And this is going to be a really tough game. I mean, like two teams that are going to be hitting and tackling, and it'll be physical for sure. So I really don't know. I mean, right now Philadelphia is winning these games, and you'd like to think that everybody's luck runs out, a little bit. I mean, you keep throwing the ball like you think like Dak. You keep throwing it into the end zone like that, and the ball gets deflected up in the air. I mean, you're going to get picked. I mean, at some point, that's just what happens. You think Philly keeps fumbling the ball, they're going to lose it. They're going to lose these games if they keep getting down at halftime. But they figure out a way to win. I wouldn't get down too far against the 49ers, So I don't know who's going to. I really don't. I would expect the 49ers, to probably win just because of the way Philly, usually these teams figure out a way, to lose some. I mean, you can't just win all of them, but maybe that's just what I want to happen, but I really don't care. I really don't care who wins. If it doesn't, I know a lot of people do, 49ers. You're going to have to go and beat these teams in the playoffs. Wherever it is, I don't know if it matters. It really doesn't. Sure, it'd be nice to maybe try to get the division, but it's going to be tough at this point, the way that they've won these games. So, hey, all you do is control what you control, see what happens. It should be a lot of fun. Cold weather in a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, they'll be prepared for it. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know how you prepare out here, but you've got to get that running game going for sure. I mean, you've got to figure out ways to do that, because if you get into a game where you can't really throw it a lot, you're going to have to figure out other ways to move the ball. And I think one way that we're seeing it is these little speed reverses and things like that with CD. Cooks has done it. Turpin, of course, can do it. That's one way to get your weapons involved without necessarily having to throw it. So I think that's one way you can try to do that. All right, let's go to Chris in Mississippi. Chris.
How you doing there, Nick?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Pretty good. It took me, your guy said the other day that he called 16 times before he got in. Well, I just called 91 times to get in today.
Wow. Thank you.
So I will say this. Well, I've been trying to get in for the whole week and couldn't get in. I would really like the media, especially after this game, to stop driving the narrative that there's something wrong with our run defense. It seems like to me they're just grasping at straws, because if you look at it, these lesser teams are running the ball against us because they don't want to be the team known as getting 70 put on them. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Because look at it. The 49ers didn't run the ball against us. The Eagles didn't really run the ball against us. They got, not huge yards. And then this team here, known for running the ball, they didn't get any yards against us, one here and there.
Right.
I mean, and it's just like, it seems like everybody's grasping for straws. But, hey, man, I will say this. I am overexcited. Again, I had backed off because I was the one that said we were going to curb stomp Philly earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. I am overexcited and back on the bandwagon because of the fact that these are games we would have lost in the past.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I'm a Mississippi State fan, and this is Mississippi State Day. People, this is what we saw for 4 years in Mississippi State. And this is exactly what he is. And with him playing the way he is, I just don't see – I see we could lose, but I don't see us getting beat again like we did against the 49ers.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't either.
I actually think if we get that rematch, just might happen this time.
Yeah.
Because if you go back in history, how many years in a row did the 49ers beat us and knock us out of the playoffs before we went to the Super Bowl? Wasn't it 3? If I'm not wrong, wasn't it 3?
The 49ers knocked out the Cowboys?
Yeah, back in the 90s, before we started dominating, how many years in a row did they knock us out of the playoffs, or did we lose to them at concession in the playoffs? I think it was 3 years in a row.
I think it's 0. Honestly,
you think it's 0?
I don't think they beat them in the play. I really don't. I think they beat them in 92. Cowboys beat them in 92, beat them in 93, lost in 94, and then in 95 they didn't play them in the playoffs. No. But okay, to your point though, to your point, for an example, flip it to the Packers. Packers lost to the
Okay.
Cowboys in 93. I think 92, actually. 92, 93, 94, 95, and then 96 they won the Super Bowl. I mean, like,
That's
so
how I become a Cowboy fan, because I'm from Mississippi and my daddy's always
Favre.
followed people from Mississippi.
yeah.
And he was rooting for Favre, and then all of a sudden, the Cowboys started beating them, so I started rooting for them.
Yeah.
And see, those are the other things. Everybody talks about Josh Allen and all these other people that they don't get on like they get on Dak. My problem is how can you sit here and say that Brett Favre's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then you're jumping on all these people for throwing these interceptions? Because this is not nothing new. Brett Favre threw more interceptions than anybody ever.
Right.
I mean, and everybody loved Brett Favre, so why do you crucify Dak and these other quarterbacks for throwing interceptions? It's just part of the game.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're playing clean, we're playing great, and I'm ready for that Super Bowl again. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Chris in Mississippi, big Mississippi State fan. I'm gonna be watching them as well. I'm real happy for their new head coach Jeff Lebby. Big fan of his, and until they play Arkansas, I'm definitely a big fan of him, and big fan of the Mississippi State Dak, the one we're seeing there, where he's just out there playing, just saying, "Get off me! You're not gonna tackle. You're too small. You can't tackle me. I'm gonna make this play here. I'm gonna shovel a pass over here. I'm gonna make this throw in here." He's just playing. He's playing out of his mind. Love it. All right, let's go to Travis in San Antonio. Travis, what's up?
Happy Victory Friday to you. How you doing?
You too. Victory Friday. I like it. It's got a ring to it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not bad. Just a couple quick things. I wanted to see what you thought. I don't know. I missed the first part of the show. I'm sure it's probably come up, but I know you were kind of originally off on Bland being DPOY, and maybe now you were kind of on, and last night happened, and I think he still has to be on there, just because I kind of said, like, his night was a microcosm of kind of the defense's night. Like, we can't all of a sudden one game take him off the list. And if that's the case, then we got to take, no offense to Micah Parsons, but we got to take Micah Parsons off the list, because all night long we didn't get off the field. I was like, where is the pass rush? We were always almost Anthony, almost had sacks, couldn't really get the pressure we needed on Geno Smith to make Geno be Geno. So kind of like all in the same. I think they both need to still be on there. So it's one game. It happens. The play call from McCarthy last night, originally, I watched it and I was like, you have to run the ball there. But then I thought about it for a second. I thought about it from his perspective, because I've mentioned to you before about, understanding like where your team is. They have played, 3 games in 11 days, 12 days. That defense was showing some tired legs. Maybe that's part of the reason that the pass rush wasn't so good. And maybe he thought, this is the 5th game in history that nobody's punted. So maybe I need to go and try and win this game. So granted, the 40 seconds off the clock would have been big, but we can play hypotheticals, right? Like, if we kick the field goal and they have a minute and they go score and they lose by 1, what are we saying then? Oh, you should have gone for it. So
yeah,
so you can play hypotheticals all day long. So I actually kind of talked myself back and like, I understand it. You're putting the game in your 2 best players' hands on offense, and see if they can go do it. And then the last thing is, I want to see what you thought, or if you noticed it last night. So apparently, like, everybody on defense has a problem with Jake Ferguson. It was kind of like getting comical. Like, every time he caught a ball or he did something, somebody was always in his face. And I was like, what has Jake Ferguson done to all of you? Like, everybody.
Yeah.
So I just want to see what you thought on that. Other than that, I want you to have a good weekend. Enjoy some football, and I'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Travis. I'm actually, as soon as you said that they showed a highlight of Jake Ferguson's go-ahead touchdown, and I didn't realize, I guess, at the time that it was against Jamal Adams. That's even better, because he was the one that was in his face all game long. And and the thing is he doesn't seem to retaliate. I don't know what he's saying in there, but he does. He's just doing the first down or whatever. But I mean, he he was really, really good. I mean, he's what you want out of your tight end. He's catching the football, but he's also getting up the field, making plays. He's not just content with 5, 6, 7 yards. I mean, he's actually getting first downs. I thought one of the bigger plays of the game early was the 3rd and 16, where it's 7-3. Seattle has just scored. Now it's 3rd and 16 on your own 19. You look like you're about to punt, which never happened, like you said. But you're about to punt, and then he makes a play for 17 yards for a first down. They end up going and scoring. I thought that was a really good tone-setting play, because then it not only got a first down, but it also showed that, hey, this guy can go make some plays. You got to you got to watch him, and I thought he had one of his best games for sure. All right, let's go to Jeff. He's in North Carolina. Jeff, what's up?
What's going on, Nick?
How you doing?
I'm good. This is your favorite Southern accent that you like to hear me.
No doubt, no doubt.
It's been a few weeks since I talked to you, man. But I just want to say, great win last night. And I don't know if anybody mentioned it, but I thought one guy made a couple plays at the end in the fourth quarter, and he gets criticized sometimes, but Jordan Lewis made 2 good plays there in the fourth quarter, help stop a few drives, and shout out to him. And Seattle played great. I mean, they was a dogfight, and I also want to I want to give credit to Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy seen after the 49ers game. Give him some credit for saying we got to open this thing up a little bit more, and the previous regime, they were stubborn a lot of the times of, we got to do it our way and all this. And so I give a lot of credit to Mike for, he is really dialing up some good play calling right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, we talked about the one we kind of disagreed with the actual decision, but from the play calling standpoint, I agree. I think he's had some really, really nice play calls. And they yesterday was a tough game. I mean, it was tough in the red zone. It was not easy, but they you got to give them credit. I love my favorite call, and because I was actually saying it up in the press box, was I love the fact that they hand the ball to CD there late in the game on the run, because you're trying to run out the clock here, but at the same time, you just running it up the middle with Pollard's probably not going to get it done. You got to be creative and keep the ball on the ground, and I thought that the run to CD was great. I would have liked to have seen something like that again. Maybe not a receiver reverse around, on that 3rd and 4 down there, but just something different than just trying to run it right up the middle, something off tackle, RPO or something. But I thought the actual play calls that we've seen have been really good.
I think so too. And remember, I told you a few weeks ago we was going to get that Brandon Cooks thing figured out, and it seems like we have. So, so I told you it was on the uptick,
and it is up here.
It was on the uptick.
Yeah, there it is. There it is for sure.
And one last thing, I heard what Dak said during his press conference last night. Somebody asked him about all the criticism he got, and now he's getting a lot of praise. And I love the fact he said, "I'm not going to pay no attention to this than I did the criticism," because he said we're just taking it one game at a time, and I'm confident in what we do. So I was really glad to hear him say that.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, Nick, great win, man. Thanks for taking my call. I know there's a lot of people trying to get in. I don't know how many calls I've made today trying to get in. I know that one guy said he tried 92 times.
Yeah.
I probably not that many, but I tried several.
I appreciate that for sure. I appreciate it. And there's guys calling, and there's people calling right now that aren't going to get in, and we apologize for that. But we definitely appreciate the support, and this is a good show to talk about. A good day to do that, because the Cowboys had a huge win. And you're right, Jeff. You talked about Jordan Lewis. He does get criticized a little bit. It was a challenge for him as well, but he stepped up there. He's a scrapper, man. He's going to keep going, and he had some nice plays, some really nice plays in the game. It got to the point where I was every single play I was just looking for the flag. Like where's the flag? That's where it got to. I mean, what did I count? Just 267 yards or something in penalties. That's just the ones accepted. There's 3 types of penalties. There's ones that were accepted, the ones that were declined, and then there was 2 or 3 times where they just discussed and picked it up. So flags hit the ground probably 35 times in the game, and that's just unacceptable. But that's what happened. All right, Bob in Rio Grande Valley. By the way, we're not taking a break. We'll take a break right now. Okay, we're done. We're back. Bob, Rio Grande Valley, what's up?
Hey, Chris. It's Nick. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm enjoying the seesaw has landed Friday.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, what a game. What a game. One play I'd like to point out that really impressed me, and it has a lot to do with the tenacity of the Cowboys and how they stick with players and develop them. That Jalen Tolbert catch when Dak got out of the grasp of almost being sacked, and that kid's placement of his feet on the sideline and catching that pass, that was reminiscent of Michael when he was back when Gallup was really contributing to this team.
Right.
And McCartney does not get enough credit for his play calling or his patience or his vision in seeing what can be and then taking in his playbook and making it come to be. I was totally impressed last night. It was a seesaw game, emotions. The guys and gals that I was watching that ball game with, I tell you, I heard the F-bomb several times last night, particularly at the way the flags were flying.
Yeah.
But all in
that
all,
was the F word, the flag. That was the F word last night for sure.
I mean to tell you, it was a laundry list that surpassed any I've seen in a while.
Golly.
I appreciate you taking my call. Have a great weekend when it catches up to you, and you guys do a great job, and I enjoy your show tremendously.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. It means a lot. We're having a lot of fun. I mean, this is one of those days where we're just going to have to roll through, man. I could do 2-hour show or whatever. And speaking of Monday, just to throw it out there, I'll say it again, but Monday we are going to have a little bit longer show. I think Talking Cowboys will not be happening on the Monday. So we'll be talking about whatever. Eagles, 49ers, talking about the Cowboys, whatever. We're going to start, I believe, around 9:30. So we got an extra 30 minutes or so. It should be a lot of fun to do that. So we'll talk about a lot of that stuff, and I'll be able to put that on social media as well, just to let everybody know. But yeah, and I do want to throw out, speaking of Talking Cowboys, I want to throw out a shout out to Kyle Yeomans, who's the host of Talking Cowboys. He got the call last night, right before the game, that he was going to be doing the play-by-play on the radio for Brad Sham, who was not feeling well that night, and he ended up not calling the game. And Kyle has done a lot of games. He's done a lot. He's done some football games. Done some Cowboy games, on the preseason on TV. He's done a ton of games, college and high school, every week. But he got a chance to do that. And from what I heard, I heard a few plays. He was a natural. He did a great job. Really, really impressed, especially with, because it's that old theory of, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And that was an example of that. I thought Kyle did a tremendous job. He handled it, said, all right, I'm in. With all due respect to for knowing, Brad is a legend and making sure everybody was fine. And I think Brad is going to be fine. But it was his time to step up, and he did a great job. So that was cool. That was another really cool thing for him that happened. So I was excited for him. All right, let's go to Ali in Florida. Ali.
Good morning, Nick.
Morning.
Pretty good, sir. A couple things. I'm a photojournalist. I was covering up the war. I got home yesterday, and I just want to take a little quick nap and watch the game. But I fall asleep. I woke up at like 12:30, and I couldn't believe they had a replay on NFL Channel. I would be such a nervous wreck watching that game.
Yeah.
Seriously, I was so fast. I said, oh, my God. But I want to bring you a couple of points. The two coordinators for Philadelphia Eagles, one went to Indianapolis, and one he went to Arizona. And now Philadelphia, the middle linebacker got hurt, and Dallas Goedert got hurt. So Indianapolis released Leonard, and Arizona released Zach Ertz. And I'm wondering if Philadelphia is by chance they're going to sign both of them. If we just say, look, we need the guys, send them back, So that's one. Second, we got a great game. Game ball goes to everybody. But I tell you, our kicker, it's a lights out. Without those kicks, we wouldn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
It's like such a blessing to have him. Have a nice day,
All
buddy.
right.
Love your show.
Thank you.
Love Chris. Say hello to everybody. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. That's interesting on the Zach Ertz and Shaq Leonard. I mean, think about that too. With Leonard, though, I mean, he had to clear waivers. So it's not like we're just giving them to you. But if it happens like that, that would be interesting. That's next level thinking there. I haven't heard that unless that's a narrative going around on Twitter or whatever. I had not heard that. But who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be. It is surprising to see some veteran guys like that released at this point, but. We'll see. I mean, the Cowboys and they'll be they're still looking at the Shaq Leonard thing. We'll see what happens with that, and if he makes a decision and all that. If it happens in Philly or Dallas or whoever else, I mean, I think the Cowboys would love to have him, but I mean, not at the point of throwing a ton of money out there. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see what decision he makes. All right, let's go to Josh in Iowa. Josh, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Great to speak with you.
Yeah, you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I listen to all of the Cowboy podcasts. Love what you guys do. Your show is great. But yeah, what a game last night. I read your post on how it was a playoff game, and 100% agree with that. It was quite the game. It was good to pull that one off last night.
Yeah. So, that was definitely it was a nail biter for sure.
Yeah, it was, and it was like you said on your post. It was a playoff game, and we ended up with the dub. So that was good.
Josh, is this your first time to call?
It is. Give me a ding.
No ding. We've retired that one. So first time caller, Josh in Iowa. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. Yep. We moved on to that. So we figured how appropriate too. Thank God for the win. That wouldn't have been as fun as if Dak wouldn't have played well and we're coming back off a loss or something like that and play that. But yep, that's our new first time callers, and of course. This is our 13th call of the day, and then we had the first 12 were guys that we've definitely had several times, 20th time callers. So, yep, that's the way we're going to do it. You got anything else, Josh?
You know what? I do have a couple quick things. Couple quick stories. I send a text, just personal stuff. Is the Leon Lett Thanksgiving fumble?
Yep.
That's just a personal thing with me. It's the first time that my parents ever heard me curse. And last year we went to the Philly game at Christmas Eve from Iowa, took a trip. It was going to be 14 hours and ended up taking us 22, but it was all worth it. It was incredible. And then just one quick last thing, and I'll hang up, is I got to get a shout-out to my boy Grant at our high school. He ran for 3,000 yards this year, and he's going to the University of Iowa. So want to give a shout-out to Grant. And I'll hang up and listen, but I appreciate what you guys do.
All right. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Josh, and congrats to Grant, who's going to Iowa and helping that offense. I think they need some help on offense. Got the defense thing figured out. Need some help on Iowa. Boy, they would mess some things up if they won this weekend against Michigan. That would kind of change a lot of things. So, all right, let's go one more caller real quick. We're running out of time, but let's go to Anthony in Seattle. Anthony, what's up?
Hey, Nick, man, I appreciate you taking my call. Man, first and foremost, man, just an awesome game last night. And took your advice in regards to just going along for the ride. It's the emotions were all over the place last night. They were up and down. When they went up 17-7, I thought for sure, all right, I can go ahead and go to bed now. This game is all a wrap. But, just because I thought it was going to keep carrying over the home field advantage. But happy I stayed tuned in. But, man, for me, I want to see people continue to try Deron Bland. I want them to. I mean, seriously, like, every time they think, oh, man, yeah, this guy's giving up plays. They said the same thing about Trayvon whenever he had the year with 11 picks.
Right.
So keep trying them. So that's all I wanted to leave on a note with being in Seattle, man. Oh, man, I'm going to hear it all day. But I got my Dak jersey on today.
You're going to hear what? What are you going to hear?
I'm going to hear all the hate, all the everything, because I'm provoking it a little bit, Nick. I got my Dak jersey on today, walking it around with a smile on my face. So
yeah.
I'm gonna get some ugly looks, but that win tastes a little bit better than the loss they got last night.
Yeah.
So
play better.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. They took Seattle's best shot. They had to win that game. Seattle was desperate. They had to win, and they played that way. They really had a great game plan. I thought they did a nice job until that 4th and 1. I thought that was not a good call for them. I don't think the Cowboys are going to stop Geno Smith over center if he just runs it there, and I think that changes a lot of things. So, the Cowboys, we very easily could have been sitting here talking about a loss, but I thought the Cowboys defense, they struggled most of the night, but then they stepped up when they needed to. So, you guys stepped up too. Callers were great. 13 callers today all over the map. Really, really good stuff. Appreciate that. We got first-time callers. We got a lot of the guys that have been here for a long time, and we definitely appreciate that. I know we had to cut you guys off a little bit, and I apologize for that because we did try to move through it. So hopefully we have a little bit more time on Monday. On Monday we'll start earlier on Monday, probably about 9:30 or so. So we should have about about 80-minute show. So it should be a lot of fun to talk about whatever happens this weekend. We can definitely do that. So, all right, stay tuned, though. We got Cowboys break coming up. They're going to have a lot to talk about as well, and we got shows throughout the day as well. So, all right, so for Chris Beam, I am Nick Eatman. We will see you guys on Monday on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!